Okay, so we're going to go over a new concept today, but before I tell you what concept that is, let's go ahead and read this problem. It says Adrian drove 372 miles in 3 days. So how many miles did he drive daily if he drove the same amount each day? So what operation will we be using? So in order to define or figure out what we're going to be using, I'm going to use the get strategy. Now, I want you to think of all your options. Are we adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing? Well, this is telling me that I have the same amount each day. Usually when I have the same amount or equal groups, I know I'm either multiplying or dividing. So I'm going to pick between the two. So we're using the get strategy. The G is the groups, E is how much is in each group, and T is total. The one that is unknown is the operation we're going to use. So for example, if we don't know the total, we're going to multiply. If I don't know the amount of groups or how much is in each group, that means we're going to divide. So let's go ahead and start with the total. Do I know how many total miles was driven? Yep, I know 372 miles was driven in total. Now let's look at the groups. Do I know how many groups there are? How many sections we're separating this into? Yep, we're separating it into 3 days. Do we know how many he'll drive in each day? Nope, we don't know. That's what we're trying to figure out for. Let's go ahead and continue. So we're going to be using division. Now here I have a model. Here I have a demonstration of my base 10 blocks. So I have 3 flats, which represents 300, 7 rods, which represents 70, and 2 units, which represents 2. I have my 3 groups. So these are the total amount of miles, and then I have below my amount of groups. So my total and my groups. So let's start here with my hundreds. I have 3 flats. Do I have enough to give to each group? Yep, I have enough to just at least put 1 into each group. So let's do the same process with my rods. Do I have enough rods to put into each group? The answer should be yes, but how many can we fit into each one? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rods. I was able to put 2 into each group. Now let's check if this makes sense. If I count all my rods, I should get a total of 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So yes, this makes sense. Now, this is where I'm stuck. I was able to give 2 rods to each group equally, but now I have 1 rod left over. What can I do to this rod to help give it to my other 3 groups? Because if I give this 1 rod and I give it to one group here, would that be equal groups? No, that means one other group is actually going to get more than the rest, and we don't want that. We want it to be equal. So what can I do? So let's think of this as a Hershey bar. I was able to give 2 Hershey bars to 3 people, and now I have 1 big Hershey bar left. How can I split this up to be able to divide it or share it with others? I can break it up. So I need to figure out what to be divisible, and I can break it up. I can change the rod to 10 units. So I'm showing here this 1 rod, which is with 10 units, I can break it apart. So this 1 rod is the same thing as 10 units split up. So now I have a total of 12 units. So let's check. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and I have 11, 12. I have 12 units and I have 3 groups still. Will I be able to put 1 in each group? Yes, I will be able to. How many times will I be able to do that? 1, 1, 1. Okay, let's do it again. 1, 1, 1. Now I want you to pause this video and I want you to try it out. How many units would go equally into each group? And will I have any left over? The answer is I should be able to have 4 in each group and I will have no leftovers. So again, I had 12 units. So if I count 4 in each of my groups, 4, 8, 12, I do have my 12 units and I used all of them. Now that I've divided by 372 equally into 3 groups, let's see how much was driven each day. So I'm going to look at only one group or one day. If I look at all 3 of them, that'll just give me my total, which is something I already know. I'm looking for the unknown, which is how much is in each group. So how much is in each group? I have 100 or 1 flat, 2 tens or 2 rods, and 4 units or 4 ones. So I have 100 plus 10 plus 10 plus 4. All that together equals 124. So Adrian drove 124 miles each day. Now, if I did 124 plus another 124, which is next to it, plus another 124, that should give me my total amount of 372 miles driven in those 3 days. Now we have another question here. Jason owns 800 Pokemon cards. He wants to organize his cards into 4 binders. How many Pokemon cards will be in each binder? Well, let's see what operation we'll be using. Again, we're going to use our get strategy, G for groups, E for how much is in each group, and T total. Again, the unknown is what we are going to be using as an operation. Do I know my total? Yes, I know I have 800 Pokemon cards. Do I know how many groups I'm going to have? Yes, I know I'm going to have 4 binders. Do I know how much is going to be in each group or each binder? Nope. I don't know. I don't know how much is going to be in either one. That's what I'm trying to solve. So the unknown is my division. So what are we going to be doing? Dividing. So again, I set this up using my base 10 blocks. I have 8 flats or 800s, which is equal to 800. And I have my 4 groups or my 4 binders. So I want to be able to equally put into each one. So do I have enough? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Do I have enough to put into 4 groups? Yes, I do. So let's go ahead and do one time. 1, another one, another one, another one. I was able to successfully put 1 into each group. Now, do I have more? I have some left over. Will I still be able to add another group into my binders? Will I be able to add another hundreds into there? Well, let's see. I'm able to put that one there, that one there, that one into that group, and into that group. So was I able to put enough into each group or each binder? Yep. And how much did I put into each binder? So let's see how many we would be in each group. I have how many hundreds? I have 2 hundreds in each. So 100 plus 100 equals 200. So Jason will have 200 Pokemon cards in each binder. Now we finished those 2 questions, let's go ahead and do one more. Samantha went shopping and spent a total of $1,316 on shoes at 4 different malls. If Samantha spent the same amount at each mall, how much did she spend at each? So again, we're going to try to figure out what operation we'll be using, and you have all seen a pattern, so let's see if we can do the same thing. Now let's continue with using the get strategy. So again, I have my groups, how much is in each, and my total. Let's go ahead and start. Do I know my total amount Samantha spent? Yep, I know it was $1,316. Do I know the amount of groups? Yep, I know it was 4 different malls. Do I know how much she spent at each mall? Nope, I don't know. So guess what operation we're going to be doing? Remember, we're doing the operation that is unknown, which is division. So can you guys assume what we're going to be learning this week is? Division, exactly. Let's go ahead and continue by using base 10 blocks. So here I have my cube, which represents 1,000. Then I have my 300, my 300s, my rod, and my 6 units. This represents 1,316. And I have my 4 groups. So let's go ahead and start. Do I have enough cubes to divide into 4 groups? No. So what can I do to divide the cube into 4 groups? Because I know if I just grab that one cube, will I be able to put it into 3? No. So does anybody know any facts about this big cube? That's right. 10 flats make 1 large cube. So in here, this is 1 flat, another flat. There are 10 flats on top of each other, which creates this cube. So I know that 1 cube is equal to 10 flats. So now can I be able to separate these flats and divide them into 3 groups? You betcha. So I had 13 flats. So let's see. The answer should be yes. I was able to put 3 flats into each group. Now I am left with 1 flat. What do? So I was able to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 out of the 13 flats divided into each group. Again, can I just grab this 1 flat and put it into other group while the others don't get it? Correct, I shouldn't be able to do that. Why not? Well, because I want my groups to be divided equally. That is the whole point of being divided. We need it to be equal. Can we break our flat into smaller pieces? If so, how? How many would be there? Yep, we know that one flat is equal to 10 rods. So now how many rods do I have? Now I have a total of 11 rods. There it says flats, but little typo. Do we have enough rods to divide into each group? Well, let's see. So far I was able to put 2 into each group. Can I still put more into each? Because I had a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I was able to put 2 into each group equally. Will I be able to put any more into each group? I only have 3, but I have 4 groups. Will I be able to put into each group equally? Again, no, I wouldn't. I would put one here, another here, and another there. But what about this group here? Would it be fair if this group didn't get any? No. Again, we need it to be equal. So what do? We break it apart. We break it. We know 1 rod is equal to 10 units. So here, this 1 rod, same thing as this 10 units, on and on. So how many units do you think we'll have now? Yep, I'll have 36, and I was able to divide the 36 units into each group equally. So let's make sure that's true. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9, 18, 27, 36. Yep, I was able to use all my units and put it into each group equally. So, how much did Samantha spend at each store? Let's look at each group and find our answer. How many cubes do I have? Do I have any cubes in one group? Nope, I don't have any. I have 0. Now, how many flats do I have in each group? 1, 2, 3. How many rods do I have in each group? I have 1, 2. And how many units do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So what should be my total answer? I have 300 plus 20 plus 9. So $329 were spent. So Samantha spent $329 on shoes at each mall. Okay, we're going to go ahead and continue with our division. So just to add on here, it says a dog shelter has 3 dogs to feed. The shelter has 135 dog treats. If each dog gets an equal amount of treats, how much will each dog receive? So again, we're dividing, but this time I'm going to include something called the standard algorithm. We talked about standard algorithm before when it came to multiplication, but we have a standard algorithm again also for division. So we're going to go step by step, and I have a pictorial drawing of what we've been doing on my Google Slides when it came to our base 10 models and our number or amount of groups. So this is a small picture. I'm actually going to make this much bigger in just a moment, but I want to go ahead and talk about this first. This right here inside, that is considered my total, which is also named the dividend. Then I had my divisor, which is usually my number of groups. And then my quotient is the amount that is in each group. So again, this is my dividend, which is my total. My divisors, which I'm dividing by, are the amount of groups I have. The quotient, which goes up here, is the answer, or how much is in each group. So again, I have 135 dog treats, and I have 3 dogs. So over here, this will be my quotient. Will tell me how much is in each group. So let's go ahead and get started. So here again, I have my pictorial drawing. I'm going to redraw here. This is my flat. Oh, sorry. Disregard that one right here. So let's go ahead and look at this. I have 135. 1 flat, 3 tens, 5 ones. And I have my 3 dogs. So first, let's look at the flat. Same thing, let's look at the 1 at the hundreds place. Same thing as looking at the 1 flat. Do I have enough flats to put into each group equally? No, I don't. So what can I do to make this divisible by? Well, I know that 1 flat is equal to how many rods? That's right, 10. So this here is going to be 10. So now I'm going to have 10 rods. So now how many rods do I have in all? I have 10 plus 3, I have 13 rods. So here, on my standard algorithm, I'm actually just going to move one place value to the side. Can you see now that I have 13 as well as having 13 here? Yep, same process. We're still not looking at the 5 or our ones place or our units. We're just looking at the 13. Now, can I separate these 10 rods into my 3 groups? My 13 rods into these 3 groups? Yes, I can. So let's go ahead and check. Let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now I have 10 here. So I can already take off that 10. I already used my 10 rods. Now I have 3 more, and I have 4 here, 3 here, and 3 here. Now, is this considered equal? No, I still have to be able to put 1 here, another one here. So how many goes into each group? 4. So that means I'm able to put 4 into 3 groups. So this 4 will now go on top because this is part of my answer, part of my quotient. Now I'm going to do 4 times 3, that's 12. Because I was able to show that I was able to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and separate those 12 out of my 13. Now I'm going to find my difference here. 13 minus 12 is 1. How many rods did I have left over? That's right, just 1. Now what can I do to make this 1 rod divisible? Because I can't put this 1 rod and just place it in one of my groups because that wouldn't be considered equal. So what can I do? That's right, I can break it apart. So this is now going to become 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 units. So now how many units do I have here? I have 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Same thing as me bringing down this 5. I now have 15. Now can I divide these 15 units into each group? Well, let's test that out. Let's go 1, 2, 3. I used 3. Another 1, 2, 3. I used another 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I still have 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I have 3 left. Will I be able to still put these away? Yep. 1, 2, 3. Do I have any remainders or anything left over? No. So let's see. How many units did I need to put into each one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that is also part of my problem. Well, let's see. How many units did we use in all? Well, I can just do 5 times 3 because it's 5, 10, 15. I'm going to check if I'm going to have anything left over. Did I have anything left over? Because I subtract 15 minus 15, that's equal to 0. So my quotient, or the amount that's in each group, is 45.